Thanks for joining us in Nigeria tonight. I'm Felicity Ezewuike. Our coverage begins in Kaduna, where the Nigerian army has taken responsibility for Sunday's airstrike that left over 75 villagers killed and several others injured at Tundumbiri village in the state. This development was confirmed by Samuel Aruwan, the Kaduna State Commissioner for Internal Security and Home Affairs, at the end of an emergency security meeting on Monday. The villagers were marking the Maulud celebration to commemorate the birth of Prophet Muhammad. An unmanned aerial vehicle bombed some parts of the community, killing the villagers. Following the incident, Governor Ubasani has ordered investigation into the attack. To further discuss this, we're joined by Dennis Amarachree, former Director, State Security Services. Thank you very much for joining us.
Good evening.
One strike too many. Is there any possibility of atonement? What comes to your mind when you see stories like this?
Well, I think there will be. Thank you for having me anyway on this program. The basic thing I see is missing there might be coordination, proper coordination, and then, of course, ground intelligence to the army before they went on the strike. They have to be very sure of their intelligence and then, of course, go ahead and do what they have to do. Right now, we've had the menace of bandits disturbing us for years now. So now that the military is ready to take care of that particular problem, I think we should encourage them. In war situations, mistakes are made. And before we even proceed, it is not Army jets or Air Force jets that did this. Because in your intro, I see a lot of Air Force jets that were displayed. I don't think that is what actually happened. The operation was carried out by Predator drones that took care of the situation, but they felt it was bandits. And it's possible the bandits were actually hiding behind the civilian population.
Agreed that mistakes do happen. Would you say this is an acceptable collateral in the fight against insurgency? And the other thing I want to also find out is this is not the first time an incident like this is happening, and the military keeps giving promises that they will do their utmost to ensure that minimal civilian casualty is recorded. What worries you about the seeming lack of adherence to their own promise?
I don't think. Remember, this is a brand new set of, military people that you are dealing with. During the Buhari regime, we have a change of two times changing of security heads. The service chiefs were changed twice, and they were not able to deliver, that particular problem. And of course, this particular set of service chiefs and the security agencies have really taken the bull by the horn, and they are going in for it. Yes, they have had so many wins recently, and it does not affect a lot of civilians, but this particular one, I think, was carried out in the night around 10 p.m. when it was dark. And then, of course, the pattern that was shown to them or they saw was basically that of the bandits. So after the strike, they come to discover that civilian populations were involved.
All right. What has happened has happened. How would you assess the response so far, both from the military and the state government just recently convened an emergency meeting to discuss the situation of the death of these people? What would be some actions that will show some, that they sympathize with the people who has been affected?
Yes, I think that was the right move. That was the right move. All the security heads were there. And then, of course, you have the traditional rulers, the world heads, all were there. And they explained, it was explained to everybody, because we don't want a situation where people will start to riot and think that they are the enemy. They are not the enemy. It's a genuine mistake. And of course, I'm happy that the military, the army, actually owned up to it and came out very clean instead of blaming somebody else or pointing fingers. So this is the kind of attitude that I think is required, whereby the people can get the buy-in for this particular war against banditry. And I think it was in the right direction. It has actually calmed down the situation, because all the ballets and all the traditional rulers have gone back to their places, and then, of course, translated the message to the locals. So they knew it was a mistake, a genuine mistake. And of course, the government also is trying to see if they can compensate. You know, although the locals are not looking forward to any compensation, but I think they are talking among themselves to see if they can, at least for breadwinners that must have been lost in that very attack.
I know we acknowledge mistakes do happen, but it is preventable. From a security perspective, what would be your advice to the military to minimize to the barest such incidents from occurring again?
I think the only area, I think, it will be a more sharing of intelligence among the security agencies, and then, of course, among the agents that are on ground, you know, so that when there is any strike, be it by military jets or by drones, it has to be precise. You know, such attacks should be precision driven. So it's okay. The mistake has been done, and I think everybody is aware that it was a mistake, and then they've met. The Security Council met in Kaduna, and then everybody knew exactly what happened, and I think lessons have been learned. And I believe that next ones will not be like this.
I hope so too. Thank you very much, Dennis Amarachree, for giving us your time.
Thank you for having me.